Welcome to Hilltop Orchards. Well, here we are, October, fall in the Berkshires, our favorite time of year when we get to harvest all these apples that we've worked so hard on all year to produce. The harvest begins in September, actually early August with our first varieties, and then right into late October. But the orchard started in 1920. Our history began 23 years ago when my sister and I bought this property, beautiful 200 acres here in the Berkshires. One of the things that inspired us to do this was a dream to start our own family farm here in the Berkshires and to preserve this beautiful land. At the time it was under pressure to be developed into a subdivision, and when my sister and I saw this on the Boston Globe advertised and came out here and during the middle of the winter and actually took a snowmobile ride up to the top of the orchard and looked out at this view, we knew this was a property that we had to have. So 23 years later, here we are, preserve the land, growing 27 different varieties of apples, and each year it's been a pretty good harvest, so we feel blessed that things have worked out for us. One of the things that we set out to do was to see how we could sustain this farm here on this property, and that was a challenge in some tough economic times when most farms, family farms, particularly small farms, were going under. So most of my friends thought I was pretty crazy when I told them I was leaving Boston to come out and start a career as a farmer. But we always believed that we could do it, and we could do it by producing the highest quality apples and then finding ways to add value to what our products were. So the first thing that we started getting into was cider making. So this is where it all starts in terms of making cider. All these apples are hand-picked off these trees and put into these 20-bushel bins. These weigh 800 pounds. And the interesting thing is that 40 pounds of apples makes 3.5 gallons of cider. So in a day's production, we'll go through about 30 of these bins and to produce approximately 2,100 gallons of cider. We've now picked all these apples. We bring them in here into the cider mill and use a variety of different apples. These bins, which weigh about 800 pounds each, are loaded onto this, what we call the apple dumper. And they're then flipped over, and the apples roll down this chute where there's somebody standing here grading the apples, making sure all the quality is there. They then get taken through a washer and a brusher, up this conveyor and into the grinder, where they're ground into what's sort of an applesauce consistency. What happens from there is it gets pumped down through here, up through this pipe, into the press. Now here is a press that is in the process of being built. Now what we do here is we use the traditional rack and cloth method, which is the traditional way of pressing cider. So you're gently squeezing the apples, which produces the highest quality cider. We then, after this is pressed, what happens is, this is what it looks like here. This cloth, which contained all the apples, has now been squeezed out. All the juice has been extracted. This is what you call apple pumice. And this is taken and offloaded here. Donnie, who's expert at this, take this and we put it into these bins. Now this can be used as cattle feed or as compost. So we try to work back as much as this as we can back into the land. What happens now is after that apple is ground, it's pumped into the cloth. In the old days, they used to actually use hay to separate wooden racks So it was kind of an interesting process. We've now gone to these plastic racks and these types of claws. So this is filled up. This is probably about 2 bushels of apples that are going into this one cloth. And as you can see here, we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 layers. So you're going to get about 30 bushels of apples into one press. After this is filled, using the traditional rack and cloth, this is then folded up. Then another rack goes on. And this is built up to the height of the press. Once this gets to that height, it's all rolled in and then starts to get squeezed from the bottom up. And then the juice is extracted that way. And then this is what you call a continuous press. This is actually a little bit of an antique of its own. It's called a Farquhar. This dates back to the 1950s. So this press can be rolled in while this press is offloaded. So you're always pressing cider. And today we'll do probably about 2,100 gallons. What happens after this juice is pressed, it's taken up through this filter over into our bottling room where it's pasteurized and chilled. After that, we bottle it up and it's sent out to market to various farm stands under our Hilltop Orchard brand, and also we do several different supermarkets and gourmet stores in the area. The most exciting part is when we decided to start our winery here at the orchard, named Furnace Brook Winery, which is named after the historic Richmond furnace, which was the site of an ironworks that operated during the Civil War. The key and link to that is that Furnace Brook, which helped to generate some of the power and water supply for this ironworks, originates here on our property and then flows north to south through the town of Richmond to this famous ironworks. And what made it famous was that the quality of the iron ore that was made there was excellent and was used in the making of the Monitor battleship, the Civil War battleship. So it was kind of famous for that reason. So in keeping with the local history, we started Furnace Brook Winery, which was the first in the Berkshires, and we started to produce Johnny Mash hard cider. It's kind of an interesting thing because we were very excited about the fact that we controlled the entire process, right from growing the proper apple varieties all the way through the fermentation right to the bottle. So produced the whole thing here. And we started that in 1995. And that was our first product for the winery. From there, a couple of years after that, we decided to get into the grape wines after we had all the equipment and fermentation tanks. And we learned early on, however, that this particular land was best suited for apples and not for grapes. So we partnered with a couple vineyards on Long Island and have brought the grapes up and have since produced 12 different varietal grape wines, which in this year alone won 12 medals in the Northeast Wine Competition. So that's been a 14-year process that has again add to the sustainability of the operation here, and has been very successful, again keeping in mind of adding value to our apple products. Now we still, we aren't going to stop here. The next step is to produce a Calvados, which is an apple brandy, which is then taking the apple wines and then producing brandy from that. So we're excited about that coming up in the future. In keeping with our thoughts to sustain the economic viability of our orchard and farm operation, in 2007 we created our Hilltop Nordic Ski Center. We've designed some beautiful trails, most recently a trail designed 2.7K by John Morton, who was a 7-time Olympic champion cross-country skiing and has one of the elite design businesses in the country. So we're very, very excited about that for the expansion of our trails, and we have further expansion planned to go up to about 17K here within our property and then beyond to take advantage of these beautiful views and beautiful terrain here that we have in the Berkshires. We call it land use without abuse, and it's really given us a great year-round venue, something we had thought about probably as long as 10 years ago. And we finally got around to doing it in 2007, and glad we did, because people, one thing they love to do is they come up, they take a few runs, they come back, they warm up by the fireplace, they have some wine tasting, perhaps sit down and have a little cheese and a glass of wine, and so it's an enjoyable experience, and it's also a family experience. See a lot of people with young children coming, and it's been a great experience for us. So fall here at Hilltop Orchards is really the exciting time of the year for us. We get to have all these families and friends and people that have been coming to the orchard for years. We've seen some of the same people for 23 years here, and all their kids grow up. And so what we've tried to do is really create a fun family experience for everybody that's here. That includes lots of varieties of apples to pick, hay rides, which the kids love and adults too, going through the orchard, up and down, and then having people being able to be part of the experience, watching the cider donuts being made. That's all done right out front, where people can be up close and smell the donuts and smell the cinnamon and watch the donuts as they come off the donut maker. And then if we're pressing cider that day, they can see that. So what we try to do is to try to really make people feel part of the experience here. And one of the joys for us is to be able to share that with all of our friends that come here year after year. Some good fresh cider. Thanks for coming, folks. Hope to see you again soon. We're open year-round. And don't forget, support your local family farms wherever you live.